Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. This reading will be for Gwen Stefani. So basically I brought her up in my last reading with Jennifer Lopez. I was trying to make a point, but I didn't get a chance to finish it. So here I am now, basically doing this reading. So it's basically going down. So let's see, what are her current energies at this moment in time? So with this realization, and this one being here, and this Ace of Swords, this has to do with sort of just like people in your life, people's perception of you, because the Aces has to usually do with groups of people. So it has to do with her image, you know what I mean? She's coming to a realization that has to do with her image. Let's see what this deck shows. Very quick. What this Nine of Swords is telling me, she's dealing with pain, which is interesting because you see how like this dog's body is facing the past, but her head is facing the future. This is indicating to me that she's being triggered at this moment in time. You know what I mean? Because the Candace Major has to do with sort of like your family, connections. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like she's considering how other people are viewing her as a person in her relationship. So this is really fascinating. Let's see what this deck actually shows. This is going to be a quick reading, by the way. Nothing too heavy. You see, what did I tell you about? Or what did I tell you guys? That she's in her head. You see with this suppression? This is also showing me that she's coming to an ending. So this is fascinating. I already know what this ending has to do about, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to let the reading progress. But this is showing me that she's definitely in her head about an ending. It's keeping her foggy. She's feeling tormented, and she's very uncomfortable during this time. Very fascinating energies. So let's see what's happening with her marriage with Blake Shelton. If they're even married, I'm not too sure, but I think they are. Advancement. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I'm seeing this situation as coming to an end. It's gonna be concluded. You know, transformation is gonna happen. You know, because this is showing me individuals that are not aligned. Not just that a change is meaning to happen. Very fascinating. Let's see what this deck shows. Alright, the fact that this card is face down, it has to do with her emotions. So let's see what's up. This Two of Cups. This Ursa Major. When this card comes up, it usually has to do with family, like when I'm doing personal readings and all that. The Two of Cups usually represents a connection, a romantic situation, but if you look, they're not balanced. You know, one is further back, or one is in the front. So this is showing me that their relationship is off. They're not seeing eye to eye. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting. Obviously, I'm going to ask deeper questions. I'm just picking up the energies. Alright, how that card came out, I'm definitely going to take it. Again, it has to do with her emotions. There's a lot of fighting, disagreements. You know what I mean? So this is showing me they're definitely not aligned. This is also showing me one wants to progress while one is in the past. So this is interesting. You know what I mean? You see the direction that this guy is pointed at? It has to do with the past. You know what I mean? It has to do with not advancing. But if you look at where this arrow is pointed, it's pointed towards the future. So it's like they're fighting because, I'm going to just call it as it is, someone wants to leave the relationship. So, very interesting. So I'm going to ask the question everyone's curious to know. Does she love Blake Shelton? This is going to be a funny situation, I'm sure. Again, this is a quick reading, nothing too heavy. I decided to do it since I brought her up in the last reading I did. Okay, so these are a lot of cards, but I'm going to take them. This is showing me a complicated situation already because the cards are face down. So these are her emotions. You see with this withdrawal and the fact that this is the Four of Cups, this is also showing me a third party situation. I'm going to call it again as it is. You know, this is Blake's energy. You know, he's dealing with a third party situation. She's feeling out in cold. She's not feeling content in this situation. You know what I mean? So again, it's kind of like the Two of Cups that came up previously. It's like they're not aligned. Not just that, but with this death, this transition, it always has to do with transformation, conclusion, ending. This is showing me that she's going to be entering into an ending with this guy. So very unfortunate for her. This diligence, right? This Eight of Discs, basically the Eight of Pentacles. This is how she thought things were going to be. You know what I mean? She thought it was going to be growth. She thought she was going to be dealing with bliss. But the fact that this is the Eight of Discs is showing me that this situation was meaning to transform. You know what I mean? In her mind and with her actions, she thought that she was doing everything diligently. Like, she thought she took all the proper precautions. Like, you know, she did what she needed to have done, basically. But this is showing me, despite all that, it's not going to be going down the way she thought it was going to be going down. Very funny and deep. Let's see what this deck shows. All right. What this Leo card is giving me, this is her energy. This is a very narcissistic energy, you know. This is showing me that she's dealing with narcissism. You know what I mean? Because my question was, does she love Blake? You know what I mean? I'm not seeing a situation that has to do with love. You know what I mean? I'm seeing withdrawal. You know what I mean? I'm seeing a transformation that's needing to happen, that she knows is going to happen. And the fact that this was the Eight of Pentacles, it always has to do with growth, money. So this is kind of showing me something that doesn't have love in it. You know, I'm going to call it out as it is. This is seeming to be like a Hollywood sort of like bullshit connection. Sorry if you guys were expecting like love and all that. It's not what's going to be happening. With this Leo, again, this being the Strength, I'm getting a strong energy of narcissism. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like she thinks she's wise and that she's handling things a particular way. But I'm picking up some issues. You know what I mean? Let's see what these three cards are, because the cards are face down. With this Libra, Justice, she's afraid that shit is going to come out. You know, she knows that this relationship is artificial. So it's kind of just like Libra has to do with kind of like balance. You know, I know time is a thing that has to do with like Saturn and Capricorn and all that, but I'm definitely getting an energy of time. It's like she's worried about time. You know what I mean? Not just that. This is the Wheel of Fortune, but the thing that caught my eye was this Thunderbolt. So this is showing me that she's kind of worried about her fortunes taking a negative turn. So again, I'm not even getting any love vibes. It's kind of more of a sort of, like a mental energy. You know what I mean? This is more her thinking about shit. It's not really love vibes. With this King of Cups, because this was, all these cards were face down, right? And this is cardinal water. So this is always about like action, movement. And the fact that it's the King of Cups, she thinks that she could dominate the situation. I'm definitely seeing a vibe that it's worked out in her favor for a while, you know. But what I'm seeing is it's not going to be happening. She feels like she can control the situation by taking action, you know what I mean, by directing the energy. But I'm getting, it's not going to work out for her. Let's see what this deck shows. The Outsider. Excuse me. The Outsider always has to do with conflict, not feeling comfortable. I'm getting this as Blake and her energy. They're not feeling comfortable in this relationship. You know what I mean? They're also not feeling free. There's an energy of being stuck. So it's kind of just like they're not so comfortable with their situation. They definitely feel stuck. This is really interesting. Again, I'm not seeing love. So I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm not picking up love. I'm seeing an energy more that's stuck. So let's see. how does she see Blake personally? Like, what do she see when she thinks of Blake? Like, this is very, very deep, right? Because this has to do with legacy. Usually when you're sort of like creating a legacy, it has to do with like honors, it has to do with situations like that. Again, confirming that this relationship is kind of like bullshit, you know what I mean? Because she's doing this for a legacy, but it's not a family legacy. I mean, I could be wrong. It's a possibility that she can still give birth, but I think that she's kind of old, so I don't think she can give birth anymore. This legacy is more of a Hollywood legacy, you know what I mean? Again, it's like she's trying to craft things in her life. It's artificial. It is what it is. Let's see what this deck shows. This is very funny, actually. Too many cards. All right. With this being the Autumn and the Princess of Cups, she sees him as a guy that's not going to be here for the long haul. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like when you're in autumn, that's when things are starting to wilt, things are starting to die. You know what I mean? The winter is coming. So it's kind of just like she sees this as something that's going to end. You know what I mean? She definitely sees him as drifting apart from her. So that's just the vibe. It's like she's worried about her legacy. Not just that, she's really bothered that he wants to leave the relationship and break up. Let's see what this deck shows. Ooh, these are interesting energies, right? Because this 7 right here speaks of stress. This is also a karmic energy. So I'm seeing that she's dealing with some heavy karma, you know. I don't know what's going on in her life, but this is showing me some heavy karma. Not just that, her needing to control shit. What did I tell you guys? That, you know, she's kind of like a narcissist. So this is, you see where the arrow is pointed? It's pointed up. So it's showing me that she's dealing with narcissism. What this flowering is showing me is that their relationship has a lot of layers to it, you know, because this card, right, with the lotus always speaks of scandal, secrets, sort of like shit that's happening like below the surface. So it's a lot of things going on with their relationship, you know. It's not like what everyone assumes it is. So, I mean, that's basically what it is. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like she's not really even tripping about him personally. She's worried about sort of like the outcome of what's going to happen with their situation. You know what I mean? So let's see. How does Blake see her as a person? Let's pick up those energies and see. All right. Oh, snap. My shit's about to fall. You see. But anyway, the fact that it kind of fell like sideways almost is showing me it's kind of an iffy feeling. It's kind of just like he's kind of like halfway in, halfway out. You know what I mean? He sees someone that brings happiness to him. And this is funny because I'm getting an energy like this guy. It was shown that he's doing his own thing, like he's cheating. But he likes sort of like the comfort of being in a relationship, you know what I mean, with this happiness. But again, I was getting an energy of like your foot in, like halfway out. I was getting that energy. Not just that, I'm gonna call it as it is. Again, this is like a Hollywood project with this creative being here. You know what I mean? Because this has to do with creating. This also has to do with ideas and shit. So for him, it's kind of just like this relationship and how he sees her, it has something to do with kind of just like bringing balance to his life. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not getting love. I'm getting kind of like self-serving energies. Let's see what this deck shows. All right. So this it came out and then it went back in. So this is something that he's struggling with. Again, it has to do with his emotion. The sun, he doesn't want to be exposed, you know, because I know the sun always has to do with like blessings and happiness. That's usually how people read it traditionally. But if you look at this guy's face, it's a fear with this energy. He's definitely feeling fear because it's kind of like being in this relationship is insulating him. And it's kind of just like, okay, if he's out, what will be like next for him? That's what he's dealing with. So it's an energy of not being comfortable and dealing with fear. Let's see what this deck shows. All right, stress. So he's dealing with stress too. And again, how the card fell sideways, it's showing me that he's not right. He likes to play games as well. This is showing me a guy that doesn't know what he wants. So I mean, the energies speak for itself. He's not really considering her. You know what I mean? It's kind of like they're both selfish and they both have their own sort of like needs that they're trying to fulfill. But again, it has nothing to do with love. So, I mean, you know, that's how he sees her. He doesn't really see her. He's considering himself. So I think this question is really redundant, but I'm going to ask anyway. Does he love Gwen Stefani? I'm pretty sure that's what you guys want to know. So let's see. All right. No, he does not love her at all. This Chariot has to do with movement. You know what I mean? This motion. He wants to get the hell away. Let's see what this deck shows. Ooh, this Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune again. There's going to be a shakeup because I'm getting that they're trying to both kind of like suppress what's going on. It's like they both want to separate, but they're both trying to stay in this shit because like security reasons. But it's like things are going to have to switch up. You know, I'm not getting a positive Wheel of Fortune here. I'm getting a very bad Wheel of Fortune. You know what I mean? I'm seeing a lot of unhappiness. Not just that, but, you know, I don't know what you guys believe in, but this has to do with sort of like your guardian angels, you know what I mean? The spiritual realm, your connection, you know, for some people, ancestors. They're guiding him away. You see how there's a 3 here and it's a guidance? 3 always speaks of conflict, issues. They're guiding him away from shit. You know what I mean? And again, this 3 with this creativity, it's showing me that this relationship is keeping him stagnant. You know, I know that he does music, but for whatever reason, I'm seeing stagnant energy. So maybe if you guys are a fan of him, you know, you might be able to confirm this energy that his shit has been stagnant. You know what I mean? Because this has to do with artistry as well. So this is showing me all this conflict, all this artificial Hollywood bullshit is keeping him stagnant. So, I mean, you know, it's not a love situation. So, I mean, you know, that was a given already. So let's see. What can I see in regards to the future of their marriage relationship? Again, I don't know if they're married or not. I think they are. Let's see. What can I see in regards to that? What's coming up for them? This justice situation and how it fell sideways. They've been getting a lot of sideways energy. This is showing me a couple that's in a lot of fuck shit. You know what I mean? Not just that, the fact that it's sideways is showing me that they're both shady individuals. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing a good situation, none so ever. You know what I mean? There's no balance in this situation. So this is what's going to be a factor in the future for their relationship and why they're going to break up. I mean, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Let's see what this deck shows. All right. With this Temperance and this Sagittarius energy, I'm getting a lot of hypocrisy. So in the future, you're going to be seeing them spew a lot of hypocrisy. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like, it is what it is, where shit isn't going to make sense. I feel like that's kind of like something that's happening in their relationship anyway. Like the whole shit seems kind of forced and fate. So what we're going to be seeing in the future is a lot of hypocrisy. Them talking shit that don't make sense. So it is what it is. This whole shit is artificial and silly. So it's like, how can you make sense of it anyway? Let's see what this deck shows. Someone's going to be bitching about being wounded, not being happy, feeling stuck in a relationship. So definitely expect that to happen. I'm not going to say who it is. To be honest, I'm actually getting a vibe. It has to do with Blake. He definitely feels wounded in this situation. He feels stuck. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like, I'm seeing a female that's going to make him happy. He's going to be like, yo, I'm in my like rightful place now. This is my soulmate and all of that. You know what I mean? It's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. But it's kind of just like he's over being stuck. You know, because I'm seeing an energy that kind of like Gwen has him on lockdown. You know what I mean? And it's like he's feeling wounded because he's feeling trapped. He's ready to become untrapped. So yeah, that was the end of the reading. It was kind of like quick and fast, but it is what it is. Definitely press the thumbs up. And if you would like to book me for a reading, how to go about that will be in the description box. And yeah, thank you for watching. Enjoy. Bye.